Hey everyone, welcome to the next episode of Let's Play Buck. Today, what we're going to go through is just a little bit of passing Mystery Mastery books and also testing out the new additional additional potential line cubes, which came out in the recent maintenance. Or well, there was a mini patch to replace the pink bean thing, so apparently they've gotten rid of all of that, which is a shame because I would have liked to have a few more CHTPs under my belt. But yeah, so yeah, today we'll be going through some additional cubing of these shoes as well. You might be wondering, why I've only settled with 4 attack. I was going through them, and with the price of chaos scrolls and everything in the market at the moment, I think I found them for not that much in the FM. They already had one additional line on them, and then I just added a second one to it, and then I'll try get them 3 line as well. So I never know, depending on how those go. I'll also show on later, doing more of those additional slot cubes, but at the moment they're not really worth it. Well, as you can see, some of the things you got on them are alright. They go from rare to epic to unique to legendary, like the other ones do. I'm not sure if they're harder to get because I used a whole 10 lot on it, and it's might be difficult. Not sure. So I guess we'll just see what happens with those. But so I'll also be using some normal cubes on the shoes. And what I'm looking for is maybe 9%, preferably 12. You'll see in some of the recordings that I'm going to do, I get 9% a couple of times, but I'm really looking for 12%, because then if I can get it on gloves, overall, hat, shoes, cape, it adds up, and so then that should be a decent amount, because having 12 on my pendant and then a few other items, it'll build up and it'll give me some decent damage. But I am also looking at buying some equips. I'm talking at the moment with Evie, the person who was interviewed on Tony's channel, the episode before me. She's a Bucc as well, but she's selling some of her gear. So I'm looking at buying some earrings. She has some 34 attack pirate gloves, which I've been looking for, because I could move my 35 attack ones off my jet, but then if I wanted to just say do a boss run on my jet and then do a similar one on my Bucc to see which one goes better at it, which I'm planning on doing multiple times on my in my videos in the future, and once all this training's done, I would have to keep moving them back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, whereas I'd rather keep one set on one character and one set on another character. So I'm planning on just getting 2 sets of Empress gear, two so then when I do a cannoneer, I can just move all of this gear that I'm making now over to that one, and the only money I have to spend on it is making a cannon. So with that, I'll probably just buy some more 50%. I'll use some shield scrolls from the cash shop, and then make a cannon. And so I figure that I see it as I'm not wasting money on making a set of equips that I won't really use anymore. If I use it on the cannoneer as well, I'll get good value out of them, and I'll use whatever I can on my Thunderbreaker when I make one. So someone asked a question on one of the videos recently asking, am I going to make a Thunderbreaker? I will, because then I'll have, mechanic, Corsair, jet, cannoneer, Thunderbreaker, all at max level, all but one on the same account. So yeah, that'll be good. And I'll also be doing a few videos on my mechanic once my gear gets unlocked on my jet, because I figure I'll use my mechanic to train up my cannoneer from 110 to 120, or maybe a little bit higher than that, until it can start training like this one can, because this one I really took it from 130 and I just started training because then I could use all the Empress gear. So that's been a real bonus, because the Bucc, it's really good at training. I'm finding that it's easy to play. The skills are pretty straightforward, and I'm enjoying how it goes. I trained for about, I think, 8 hours yesterday on my day off. Went from 135 to 158, and so it's pretty good. I like what they've done with the skill change. It makes sense, and there's a lot of actual good passive skills there as well that really benefit it in many ways. There's a defense ignore, there's a attack increase buff, crossbones, and what's the other one called? I'm just having a look now. Typhoon Crush. It's a 2% chance of defense ignore at level 1, and I think max level is 10. I haven't checked, there might be more books. But yeah, so I'm going pretty well with passing books. The ones that I've come across, the ones that I've really needed, I've passed first time. I'm still working out what I'm going to do with Maple Warrior. I might just end up getting it on my bishop, since, well, yeah. See, that's the thing. I want to have a Maple Warrior for my for when I train my Cannoneer as well. So I'm not sure whether to get Maple Warrior for my Buck and for my Bishop, because of course I'll be doing bossing videos on my Buck as well. Zachem, Horndale. I'll try a Pink Bean run. I'll try Empress. Things like that. So I might see some value in getting that. But I'll work it out, because I think the price of Maple Warrior 20 and 30 in the FM at the moment is around 400 to 500 mil. Maple Warrior being a little bit cheaper than Maple Warrior 20. So 30 is cheaper than 20, and it's just trying to work out, well, not really the most cost-effective way, but just the smartest way to play it, because you can really spend a lot of money and waste a lot of money on things that you don't really require in this game. You can do things a lot smarter. So it all comes down to what I'm going to use the most, and I'll just if I have to, I'll get Maple Warrior on my Bishop first so I can train with it, and then later on down the track I'll work on getting it on my Buck. It's not the most important thing in the world, but it is about a 15% increase in strength and all the stats. So it is a handy skill to have. But as you can see, just going back to passing more books, and I think it's gone pretty well. I've been finding them pretty cheap in the FM, 5 mil per book, and and I just wanted to show you what my damage is like. Just about to get 157 there, and it's nice to have some glitch maps back, because I was training in unglitched maps when I first started off, and it was a bit slow. But I've been managing to get a few levels up now. Largely just soloing, but yeah, it's I don't mind soloing with a character like this that can really take a whole map. But one of the things I am, just thinking that would be a nice change to LHC in well, low populated areas like Bello and the other smaller servers, where just a little bit of a change to the party system there, where because I find that late at night for me when I'm training, when there's absolutely no one around, uh, you find that there's people coming in looking for a party to train, and I'm probably the only one with a party training, at that time. And yeah, it's just I think it'd be better for them to decrease it to say like have four people in your party, and it gives you the maximum amount. But then you can also have another five or six to make it a full party and to make the spawn better. But it's not a prerequisite to having the maximum amount of EXP. Like I know that's a bit well, it's not really cheating, but just something that helps. Well, I find that if someone DCs or if because I find that my internet every time I've trained late at night, getting close to 11 p.m., my internet crashes and restarts instantly. So then I'm the one who most likely has party leader because I'm the only one awake. So I need to make changes to the party if I have to. If someone DCs and I have to add someone else. So what happens is all my computers crash. I lose exped lead, and then I have to hope that the person who it falls to, normally the strongest and the highest level in the party, or the second party leader gets it, and whoever that is, have to rely that it's someone who's awake, or I have to make a new party. And at that time, it's very difficult to find people to join you because there's just there's no one around. And I think if it was if it was a smaller amount of people to get the maximum amount of EXP, because I trained with three computers running. I've got my bishop, my battle mage for aura, and my attacking character. So I take up half of the party, but it's it's harder because then I have to find another three additional people. So if someone disconnects, or if someone has to go to bed and they can't stay logged on, and there's no one else around, then basically I'm training with five people. If I have only five people in the map, I'm decreasing my spawn in the map, and I'm not getting as much EXP as I could. So I think Nexon should make that tiny little change, since they've been making so many changes to LHC to begin with, that it's that you can have four in your party and get max amount of EXP, but you can have six, but it doesn't make it more. It'll just be the same, but your spawn will be better, of course. So yeah, that's just one of the things that I was thinking of when doing this. But yeah, it's just being in LHC so much and having difficulties sometimes finding people. It can be a bit frustrating because it's it's a hard thing. Either that, or make it so there's a setting in XPED where if you disconnect and you're XPED leader, you can either make it so it comes up with an option because I think they had this once upon a time, or maybe it was somewhere else that I saw it, where if the party leader disconnects, it comes up you know it asks you, do you want party leader, or do you want to accept party leader? And if they don't, then it stays with the person who disconnected. And I just think that's one of the things that they need to look at, because especially with the way that I train, most of the people are AFK. There might be someone else training with me that if it's coming up to that time, I normally give them XPED lead, saying I'm probably going to disconnect, and I'm normally right. So Yeah, but then when there's no one else training, and yeah, it's just yeah, something that's a little bit annoying. But anyways, yeah, so working on the shoes, I get 90% strength a couple of times, and yeah, it's just I wanted more than I had, but yeah, it's just yeah, and I still had money to spend. I had 100k next to spend um, on that, and yeah, it's just something that it needs doing. And I was also hoping that, if I kept pushing on, I might find a percent strength and a percent and a decent skill on it, because that'd be really cool. But one of the things that I'm wondering with that new two additional potential line is whether if you keep doing it, what's the chances of you getting a decent skill? Because thinking the way that Nexon have recently fixed how you can't have decent skills glitched, it's basically defeating the purpose of them having the decent skills available in the first place. Because who would really, well, unless it's something like HB that's sometimes required for, I know a couple of people who have, who choose to have HP pants over, any other equip that gives additional stats. But who would really have haste on their shoes over something like percent luck, percent dex, percent strength, percent int? So I'm hoping that it's not that hard to get. And yeah, so again, I'm not sure whether I would go for it, or if I would just get uh, another bit of stat, because apparently you can get percent boss damage on it as well. It's only a small amount. It's something. It's a random number. It's between, it's like 10 and 15 or something like that. It's not that big, but it's still beneficial. So you can probably get that for weapon. That's probably what I'd go for on weapon. But I'm just interested to see how much it takes to get it, because yeah, it's just more money, more money, more money. But yeah, I might only end up doing that to my dex side, not my strength side, because doing that to both sides, with it costing as much as it does, for it's like 2.4k. Those are like buying enlightened cubes all the time. So I yeah, so it's a bit difficult, uh, trying to work out what to do, but they've only just come out, and yeah, we'll deal with it with whatever happens. But yeah, I'm in the process of goodness scrolling, chaos goodness scroll on my cape, but I found that it only tends to go up one attack per thing, because I had 6 scrolls from the 6 accounts that I've got. 3 failed and 3 were successful, but it only went up one attack each time. And yeah, it's just, I'd prefer to have something like, just the chance of chaos scrolling at normal 60%, where it could go up to something like 7 attack, jumping from like 3 to 7. I'd rather have that than the benefit of only something good happening, when the only thing good happens is one additional attack. It probably goes up more depending on how lucky you are, but that's what I found when it passed 3 times in a row. Yeah, so that's really all from me today. I'll come out with the next video, which is working on my cape, and yeah, it's just trudging along, working on gear. This thing shouldn't take too long to get to 200, really. Like, I was trying to work out how much NX I need to put aside just for 2x cards. I reckon probably 5 more 2x cards, something like that, will get me there if my gear's high enough. But yeah, I guess we'll see. I'll start putting more, leveling up when it's actually harder, because right now it's just like train for 30 minutes level, another 30 minutes level, and yeah, so I'll catch you guys later. See ya.